Hi, guys. Welcome to February. Oh, my goodness. Let me know if you can hear me as you hop in. I see a couple people here, so come on in, say hi. Don't be shy. You know, I love working with you directly. And we got a nice, beautiful snowstorm last night. So let's hope the internet sticks. Yeah. All right. As you guys are coming in, that was pretty. As you guys are coming in, please say hi. Welcome to Coffee with Coach for February. I am shuffling our angel cards right this very minute. Let's see what we can get today. I'm excited. I have a really good feeling about this month, even as crazy as the world feels. Okay. Ooh, all right. So I think this is going to be apropos of today. Did I say that right? Anybody know? Here we go. All right. So it is right here. It is can you see it? Oh, come on, focus, baby. There it goes. So change in direction. I love when we get these. This is so fun. Okay. So a change in direction. The changes you are experiencing are divinely directed by your newborn willingness to open your heart to love and our guidance. You're protected now and in the future, so follow your path to the happy outcomes you desire. I love it. All right, guys, listen. So, at least here in the States, I've been talking to a lot of clients, and there's this feeling that how do I word this? That you don't know what the future is. Not that we ever do, right? I always talked about that during the pandemic. Like that taught us, yeah, tomorrow might not look like today. And that's a real thing that can happen at any time, as much as we humans don't like the truth of that. So, what I want to talk about today is how you're going to brave that with your business right now. And this feeling that things are not certain at this moment, right? It's like, um, are people going to spend money? There are no eggs. um, the politics feels uncertain, and I don't mean to laugh. That is my way of coping. Please know I don't think all of this is funny, but it's intense right now, right? So what do we do with our businesses? How do we continue to sell and sell well? And here I am, the woman who preaches abundance all the time. It's like, okay, Sarah, so what do we do? I'm here to answer that today. And one of the things I want to discuss first and foremost is the feeling of scarcity that can come up when you're trying to create really solid revenue streams for your business. So I wrote down, I'm not kidding. This was me preparing for today. I don't know if you could see what is circled there. Can you see it? Oh, my lights are so bright, but it's scarcity. Scarcity. If I'm looking at that, I wrote it down. And do you know what I saw for the first time in my life? You guys, I died. Scar City. It's like that's where all of my personal scars are, right? Like Scar City. That's where we hang out when we go to that feeling of like, oh my God, there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. And while we were all born into that conversation, some of us felt it more acutely than others, right? Some of us I was raised in extreme poverty, right? Looking back on it, I didn't know it when I was little, but I got to understand it more and more as things went on, especially right as I was starting to understand the power of money and how we could use it as a tool for good. So when I noticed that it was scarcity, I wanted to give you guys a few minutes today on Coffee with Coach to just sort of ruminate on what you need for yourself when you're hanging out in Scar City. Like what what do you need? And I don't know if you saw, I wrote some of my words around there. I need music. I need to dance. When I was little, my mom used to make a little ballet tiara for me. It was made out of a paper bag that she would sprinkle glitter on. And yeah, but I thought it was amazing, right? Scar City, baby. And then the other thing I love to do is I don't like make a special trip to do this, but I will go to the grocery store and look at all the apples. And this is something I love to do because holy crap, do we live in abundance? We live in so much abundance. If you go to the grocery store, just take a second. Just take 1 second, deep breath in, and then look at all the apples. Not only are there a schmuck ton, that's an official term, of apples in the grocery store, how many different species, kinds, flavors, organic, non-organic are there? And recognizing for every single one of those apples, there was a tree planted, it had to grow, it had to be nurtured, those apples had to be plucked, they had to be put into some sort of container to get to you, they had to be driven to you in a huge truck, and then someone unloaded the truck, and then someone else took it from those boxes and put it out on a display so that you could choose one and go, "Oh, that one's bruised." Abundance, right? And I'm not saying we're snotty to do that. We've just been surrounded by it for so long, we forget. So when you're hanging out in scarcity, I want you to have a list of things you can turn to remind yourself of the extraordinary abundance in which you live, in which we all live. And it's real, it's tangible. And just this morning, as I was getting ready to go live with you guys, I was just writing on my kitchen table my own understanding of abundance and my own like deep connection to how much there is that's available to us if only we feel worthy to actually have it. And that is the piece so many of us are missing. Is in the hustle and bustle of daily life, it can feel like we don't quite deserve all of the good that we have, or we're not sure it's really for us, or this feeling of resisting and pushing back against all of the abundance that's on its way to you because you think it might make you a bad person. So these things are hanging out in the background, right? And here's this extraordinarily abundant universe, massive abundant universe trying to deliver all that's yours. And you're like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. And just notice it. Why are we doing this? And then you turn to your business, right? And you're like, okay, I've got a business I've got to run. I have to come up with revenue streams at a time when there are no eggs in the grocery store. Or is this crazy that I'm doing this right now? Or am I selfish? And there you are, bam, you're hanging out in Scar City again, where all the scars are festering and they get so excited because that is the root of most of our beliefs all the time. And it's like, thank you for feeding me. Thank you. Thank you. Give me more scarcity so the scars in this city can grow, right? You see what I'm saying? Like we got to really watch out where this is coming from and start to pay attention to the abundance in which we live all the time. Yeah. Okay. So when we're talking about revenue streams in your business, it can feel the first thing I want you to notice is do you feel like, oh, we can't talk about that right now. I can't talk about my revenue streams right now. There are no eggs in the grocery store or whatever is coming up for you in the moment. I can't talk about revenue streams right now because someone I love was just diagnosed with cancer. I can't talk about revenue streams right now because someone on the other side of the world is suffering. I can't. Do you see what I'm saying? And here's what I want you to understand. I've been sharing this a lot on Instagram lately and stories, but also with my clients one on one. And I really want to gift this to you for your February, right? I think this is important in Black History Month. I think this is important as we're understanding how our government works in the United States and how we are attached to the rest of the world. I think this is important as you go to double down on what you're here to do at a time where it feels like that might be selfish. Okay, so let's really just imagine for a second, go with me on this. I want you to imagine that all of humanity is weaving this beautiful tapestry, just a beautiful tapestry. And you're here to weave your specific thread in your specific color. And no one else can weave that thread but you. You can't weave anyone else's, and they can't weave yours. You can only do yours. And that's it. And if your piece is missing, the tapestry isn't as full. And know that the person just diagnosed with cancer is weaving their thread of the tapestry. And someone's suffering over there, they're weaving their thread of the tapestry. And I think at this time, if you haven't read the book, The Let Them Theory for Mel Robbins, boy, did that come out at just the right time. But I want you to take that towards you as well. If you haven't read it, we'll link to it underneath this video. You really, really should. I think they're like, can't believe how many times they're having to reprint this book. And I haven't seen people get this excited about a book since Harry Potter. I mean, it's like everywhere I go, someone's reading it all the time. It's just so great to see this happening. But the let them theory is that we need to let others do what they're here to do, and then we can respond accordingly. But inside of that very theory is the idea that you need to let you do what you're here to do as well. And to give yourself the permission to be wildly abundant, wildly successful at a time when it feels like it's weird, right? Can we just be honest about that? It feels a little weird. You're like, am I supposed to be doing it? I don't know. I mean, I think I'm here to be abundant and love my life and be happy, but schmuckers, it's tough right now, right? Like that's the kind of stuff I want you to start to notice because those beliefs right now are going to hold you back from weaving your thread in the tapestry. They're going to hold you back from going for your dreams. They're going to hold you back from executing on a plan you've created to share what you're here to share. And when you share what you're here to share, you're weaving in your tapestry. Is this making sense? Right? That is you doing your job. And one of my clients said, okay, I got this right now. And I thought this was really interesting. So I wanted to share it. Is that it feels like right now there are some people trying to cut that tapestry apart. And I thought that was really interesting. And I really appreciated that she said that. And the response to that is yes, there are also people whose job it is to heal the tapestry when it's been cut. And that is their thread. And we need to let them do their jobs as well. And the only way to let them do their jobs is if you're focused on yours. And that doesn't mean you bury your head in the sand or you don't pay attention to other things, but you really come back into you. And so as you come back into you and what you're here to do, the thing that no one else can do but you, right? No one else can do this but you, right? You are the one who's here to do these things. I'm the one, I think I'm here to help you learn how to make more money, regardless of what's happening. Because as we look back on world history, anytime things have been really troubling, women did not have access to money the way that we have access to money now. And I want you to remember that. And I consider it my job to put more money in the hands of more women, which is why I'm doubling down now as well. Because I believe that having that most powerful tool in the hands of more women is one of the ways we can all continue to weave our thread in the tapestry. I hope this is making sense. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this when it comes to your revenue streams. So if you are really in tune with you, right? And this is what makes this so important is you stop looking around, you stop the compare and despair, you stop following people that make you feel bad about yourself, right? And you start consuming on all levels, right? Food, friendships, love, media, all of it, right? You just pull in all of it. You consume that which makes you stronger and only that which makes you stronger. And more than ever, it's time for you to do that because you cannot weave your tapestry. If you're watching what someone else is doing, you're going to mess up your own stitches. That's not what you're here to do. Okay. So I want you to really come into tune with yourself, really look at what you are here to do. And that is where your revenue streams come from. And you're like, wait, whoa, that was a jump, Walton. It really isn't. It really isn't if you think about it, right? So if you know what you're here to do, you can start to solve problems only you can solve in only your way. And when I say that, people are like, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, aren't there a lot of people who do what I do? Coaches do this all the time. They're like, isn't everyone and their dog a coach? And it's like in your curated algorithm on your feed, yes, that's how that feels. That's correct. For somebody else, that's not it at all. Right. And coaches are still what 0.001% of the entire population. Like, we're good, dudes. It's okay. Right. Those of us that are coaches. But the other way I love to think about this, Marie Forleo talks about this, and I think it's just brilliant, is this idea that, we go to different restaurants for different things, and they may all be like Italian restaurants, right? But you go to this Italian restaurant for the meatballs, you go to that one for their pizza, and you go to this one for their chicken marsala or whatever the heck you love to eat, right? So you're like, no, 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 they've all got their specialties and all of them have the right to exist. And all of them are here to help you eat well and enjoy your food and probably hang out with your family. Wow. But they're all okay. And one doesn't take from the other. They're all supplementing each other because this time you had the chicken marsala and you're like, dude, I am so in the mood for pizza. Right. And that's what sparks this idea. Sorry, I hit my mic. That's what sparks this idea of abundance. And so, are there other business coaches out there? Oh my God. Yeah, of course there are. Are there people who do business the way I do? They might be a little close, but they're still not going to have the Sarah Walton slant, and I'm not going to have their slant. And so, it's up to people who are looking for a great business coach to figure out which business coach is the right one for them. That's a good thing. And it keeps all of us really producing at our highest level and hopefully our most authentic, our most true to self ways. Yeah. So as you're thinking of your own revenue streams, like right now, we decided to open up the Abundance Academy for a little bit longer because I know it's time for people to be working on abundance. So that's a revenue stream that we are actively working on because I know it's needed and I know it's something I solve in a particular way. And of course, we're attracting the people that really want to work with someone like me, not someone who copied someone else. Right? Because then why not just go to the original? Why would I go to the copycat? That's crazy. Making sense? All right. So you want to think about how you present inside your business your own thread and color of tapestry. This is so important because right now we need you to show up and heal whatever it is you are here to heal. This is why my call out is always to coaches and healers, right? And you might be like, Sarah, I'm not a healer. And I'm like, if you make someone's day better, you are. You absolutely are. If you make someone's day slightly better and then they go off to like make 3 or 4 other people's day better, and you know that there's this ripple effect, right? Look at the power of you tapping into what you're here to do. And it could be that you put a smile on their face. Could be that you're a photographer and you got a shot of them that they cannot believe you caught. Do you know how much that means to people? That is a capture of a moment in time that cannot be repeated, and you caught it. You did that. If you make beautiful hand creams, right? And somebody puts it on and they're like, "Oh my God, my hands have never felt like this." And they go to hug somebody and they're happy to do that. Do you get that you helped cause that? Don't tell me you're not a healer if you're here doing what you're here to do. But that's my call out to you, is that you identify yourself as someone who's here to heal as you weave your part of the tapestry. We cannot do it without you. And you need to have the courage to step forward and present that. And every time you do, there will be more cash back in. I promise. It happens every time, right? And then every time that you display that courage and the cash comes in, you have more confidence. And then it just goes in this cycle. And then you have more courage to do it again. And then there's more cash. And then you have more confidence. And then you do it again. Now, do you need to have strategies and things in place? Of course you do. But honestly, I've been saying all this time that business is 80-20, probably because of the Pareto principle, right? It's 80% mindset, 20% strategy. I'm really starting to see it's 90% strategy. It's 90% mindset. It's only 10% strategy. And I'm seeing this more and more because the more you show up, we have all these tools and all these access points to people now that we've never had before. And because of that, the more you show up as you, the more you show up to weave your thread in the tapestry, the more people are attracted to that. And so, do you need the strategy? Yeah. Do you need to be able to take payments? Yes, you do. Do you need some sort of online presence? Yes, you do. Do you need to know how to describe what you do so people go, oh my God, I need that? Yeah, you do. But the way that you do that has all of the effect, all of it. And that is really where the success lies. And that's why we opened up the Abundance Academy for another round this year when we didn't plan on it, because we knew we had to help people with this. 90% of what's in the way is what's going on in your own head and watching someone else weave their piece and trying to copy their piece, which then ruins the tapestry. You are not here to copy theirs. You're here to do yours. And I'm starting to understand more and more as time goes on. That's almost like a divine, I don't know what the word is, calling, blessing, path for you. And I think it's really important in the month of love, right? In the month where we're really understanding our history more and more, and we take the time to do that, that you understand you have a role here and you're here now because we need you here now. And that you actually not displaying the courage to sell in the face of that will do more damage than good. I'll just let that sink in for a second. Yeah. Okay. So that was number one. Those are more income streams, is you tapping into yourself and offering solutions for other people. Then you create as many as you need. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. So this is when we get into ways to share about your business that don't feel slimy, but they feel more supportive. All right. So, what I want you to do is I want you to think about your own life. And now, if you're in business, chances are this is already part of what you've done. It just seems to naturally happen. For those of us that start businesses, we're truly the backbone of the economy, right? We hire each other, we pay money into our communities, we're saving for retirement, we're doing all these things. Yeah. So, when we look at that, I want you to understand what from your experience is driving that behavior in you. Right? So I was raised in Scar City, right? I was raised in a city of scars that went back generations of women, right? Who weren't allowed to handle money, weren't supposed to handle money. The brethren did that, right? The literally where I was raised, we called it the patriarchy, does that. Daddy gives me an allowance was a common phrase I heard from aunts and my grandmother. Daddy gives me an allowance. I know. So this is the scar city I was raised in. And I want you to understand that directly drives my current business 100%. And not because I haven't healed it. It will always be there. And that's the part we want to understand. It's a scar, right? It's there forever, but it's tougher than it was before there was a scar, right? We all know that where skin heals, the scar is actually stronger. I did that because I have a scar for my sweet dog when he was scared of the vet. Anyway, but like the scars, right? We know that skin is actually tougher than the other skin that's on our bodies. So what you want to notice is where you have learned, where you have healed. Where are your scars? Now, it doesn't mean you have to teach directly like I do. I teach directly. I teach abundance to women directly because that is wired absolutely to my own scars, right? So I teach abundance. You don't have to be that direct. It could be, right? You do have grandma's meatball recipe and holy crap, it was amazing, right? And you've never been able to see anybody replicate it. And you want to honor her memory because you miss her so much. So you open up your own meatball store. Maybe that's all you do is just different meatballs, different, right? Or you have a whole store, and all of grandma's favorite recipes, and you call it Grandma Ginny's Cafe. I don't know, right? Like that's how far you can take it into. That is my scar. I miss Grandma Ginny. I miss her. I want her presence here in the world now. I want to feel her warmth every time I take a bite. I want to know when I smell something cooking, she's here with us. That's that's you sharing with the world based on your own scars. Do you see what I'm saying? I want you to look at yourself. Now, when you do that, you're not even selling. If you're like, oh my God, when I was 5, the first time Grandma Jenny let me try whatever, right? And I sat down in that kitchen. Oh my gosh, the memories. I could hear my cousins playing outside. I could hear my mom on the phone, whatever it is, it takes you right back there. People are like, well, I want to buy to that. You didn't even sell it. You just shared. And that is that's why I'm saying this is now 90% your mindset. If you go in, I'm about to share a meatball and I'm a big jerk because there are no eggs, right? Like if you go, that's going to be a very different experience than when you're actually in touch with why you've created what you've created and what a beautiful thing it is for you to share. That's a completely different experience, right? And the selling just happens. It just happens. Do you need to have a price? Yeah. Do you need to know it's going to be profitable? Yes. You have bills to pay. But you're not selling, you're sharing. And I want you to start to understand that that is what makes sales so easy. For those of us who say sales is not slimy and sales is not tricky, and you do need to learn how to do it. I want you guys making a shit ton of money, especially right now, so you can donate it to the causes that matter to you, so that you can invest in things that matter to you, so you can book a dream vacation on a whim because you freaking deserve it. You need to have access to the abundance that's already here. And the only reason you don't have access to it now is because you believe you shouldn't. That is absolutely true. And I know it doesn't feel that way because we were born into this lie called there's not enough, right? It doesn't feel that way when you've overspent over here, which is just more scarcity, right? We only ever overspend when we're feeling scarce. It's just a fact. That's when we tend to like not think through clearly because we're so scared if we don't get it right now, we're never going to get it. That is the opposite of abundance, which is when it's mine, it will be here. And the money will be easy for me to spend on it. That's abundance. And it has you not spend on things you don't need. I haven't bought a book in a really long time. Why? Because I have a library right here. That's abundance. I don't need to have everything. You see what I'm saying? And for you, it might be something else. I know for some people, it's clothes or shoes or bags or recipe books. I know for some people, they love to collect those. It could be whatever, right? But you'll notice that when you're actually tapped into abundance, when you're tapped into your own truth, you don't have a need for external things. It's so wild. You can have them if you want them, but you don't need that need feeling is from scarcity. So I hope that lands. I hope that's making sense. And you have to understand that directly translates to sales and how well your business is going to perform. Because if you're nervous all the time and you feel like you need to sell and oh my God, that's going to get picked up on by other people and it doesn't feel good, right? That's that used car salesman thing, right? He's got to hit his quota. So he's just pouncing on you as opposed to, don't get this one. This one, you want that one over there. Oh my God, it's so much fun. You have to get in and test drive. It's just a blast. You have to get in there. That's a completely different feeling because he's actually selling from the heart, not from I need to hit my quota. Okay. And that's the difference when it comes to sales. There will be more. Watch this channel. And also, if you're not on my newsletter list, please go be on my newsletter list. Just go to sarahwalton.com and you can sign up for the Freedom Calculator right there on the homepage. And I want you to become part of our newsletter list because I am going to be announcing towards the end of this month how you can learn how to sell really quickly and easily with love, not with scarcity and freaky outness and slimy plaid jackets. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So keep an eye on this channel for that. All right. Now we're going to go into the mindset techniques that you need in order to stay abundant. I am a huge fan of just taking a beat, right? My year for 2025 is gentle, right? And all signs point to like being a little bit more still in all things, right? So before we make a business decision, we take a day. Before like opening up the Abundance Academy right now. Oh my gosh, by the way, I will make sure to put the Abundance Academy application underneath this video. If you're like, okay, I need Sarah as a coach this year, I'm feeling it. I'll put that link underneath this video as well. But that was like, we sat on it. It was like, is this the best move? Is this the highest way we can serve right now? And it was like a resounding yes. Everybody on the team felt it. I felt it. And the reaction was almost immediate from people once we started announcing it was open again. People were like, oh my God, let me in, let me in. And that is where we want to live, right? That's really what we want to be producing out in the world, right? Is something people go, yes, I really want that. I really need that. I'm so excited, right? Not, I don't know, right? Notice the difference. Yeah. Okay. So the other mindset shift for you, along with the tapestry, right? And then noticing that when you share from the heart, sales come naturally, is really shifting your mindset about money. Oh, there's one more link I'll put underneath this video. So on New Year's Day, I went live on a workshop called, But What About the Money? And the response was so great. We're now actually selling it in our store. So you can go grab it. I think it's just 25 bucks. You can go grab it. And I outline exactly how to handle money in your business so that you can always pay yourself. So there's never a moment where you're like, I can't pay myself. The business didn't do well last month, right? Like, no, that's not going to happen anymore. And I teach you exactly how to do that. Okay. So if you want that, go grab that because your relationship to cash and your mindset around cash is really got to shift in understanding it is a resource for you to weave your thread in the tapestry. That's what it's for. Okay. And if you can get that, that is nurturing you and lifting you up. Remember, I said consume and bring in that which supports you. Cash is one of those things. It will come in and support you. I know you're not watching this right now, or you don't follow me unless you have a really big heart, because I don't attract people who are greedy. It just doesn't, I just don't. Right? We attract people who want to make a difference on the planet. We attract people who love beautiful things. We attract people who want to make other people's lives better. And so if you're watching this, I want to support you in reframing what cash means to you. What does that mean to you? And really starting to examine where you learned the things that don't support the idea that cash is here to support you. Yeah. So it's this resource to help you be the biggest, best version of you. And that's what it's here for. Now, in the future, we might change it. It might be something else, but right now, that's what it is. And understanding there's so much of it in rotation right now, so much of it in rotation right now. It's just waiting for you to jump into the flow and start the party. Because once you do that, you're going to elevate and you're going to continue to get bigger and you're going to be able to help more people and you're going to be able to do more. And I know you know that, but I want to question whether or not you believe that. That's different. And that is where self-worth comes in. You know, one of the things we've been doing in the Abundance Academy is really looking at our maternal line and how worthy the women in our lives have felt to receive and how worthy they've felt to have wealth. And I want you to understand that you were born into a conversation that told you this was bad when it's not. And it's time to start to believe that, because without that belief, remember I said now it's 90% mindset, right? Without that belief, when you go to share about Grandma Ginny's meatballs, it will fall flat because you don't believe you're really worth creating a business and a life based on that generosity. Yeah? All right. So every day I would like for you to check in with yourself and see whether or not you truly believe you are someone that deserves the cash. It's going to take courage to do this. And true abundance always takes courage. It doesn't happen just because you want it to. It will take courage on your part to step outside of your comfort zone, the comfort zone being, I'm not worthy. That's the comfort zone, right? It takes courage to step outside of that. And once you do that, the cash comes in. And that cash will then increase your confidence to have more courage. Yeah. So that's the cycle I want you to jump in February. It's a shorter month. So you got to crank on this sucker. You got to get going. You got to start believing that you are worthy of all the things that you want to have in your life. You get to have them, but you have to believe it first. All right, you guys have a beautiful February. I love you 2 bits. I will put those links underneath this video. And I want you to start really looking at how you can bring in more wealth to your life this month. Bye, guys.